Hey guys, what's up? Starrykosmik here with Brian for another episode of Those Fake Gamer Nerds.
We'll get it. We'll get it. Someday we'll have the right title. But yes, this is Those Fake Nerds. Not the only show about nerdy news, but the only one you're currently watching. Provided
At
you
this
are
very
watching
second.
This, exactly. Very exclusive company are watching this at this very second. Maybe only you in the whole world. But anyways, we have two stories I'm very interested in getting into. Maggie, would you like to touch on the first one?
What is the first one again?
The first one is that Todd Rogers, holder of the longest standing video game record in history, has been, I guess, what would be the right word for it? He's not been denounced, but he's been proven a fraud. He's been called out on being a liar. Yeah, essentially. So yeah, take that away.
So basically he had this record in an Atari game called Dragster, which we talked about this in an update earlier, and we found out that he was the holder of like several records, and that it was a lot bigger than just the Dragster record, because he held like the longest video game record, like the first video game record ever, right? Or the longest held video game record ever.
Yeah, the longest that like hadn't been broken, I guess. I can't say if it was the very first video game record, most likely not, but it was the one that had stood the longest.
Right. And turns out the reason why it had stood the longest was because it was in fact impossible.
Yeah, when you make something up that's impossible to break, it's pretty easy to hold.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. So yeah, someone, I think they were doing like a stream where they were trying to like repeat that record, and basically what happened was they couldn't repeat it, and they were being aided, I think, too, with a machine or something.
Yeah, so I guess they had run some programs to like do the best possible run in the game, and their best possible run was not even that close when you consider it to what Rogers' run was.
Yeah, it was like his run was 5.51, and someone said, that's really strange that this perfect run can't replicate that time. How interesting. So they went into the code and found out that it is physically impossible to get that number at all in the game. Like, it's just not possible at all.
Yeah, what's especially interesting about this is his record. You'd be like, okay, how can he lie about it? There must be a witness. The only witness to the record was a referee for the site Twin Galaxies, and it wasn't the site at the time, of course, in the 80s, but there's just one referee confirming that he did this record, so it was just the word of one person being like, yep, this is real, this happened.
Yeah, did they find out, like, have they found out who that referee was and why?
Nothing I've come across have they gone into depth of who that referee is. It just says verified by ref next to his record.
Yeah, so obviously, and this was like a Guinness Book of World Records too.
Yes.
Like, that's how monumental it was, I guess, for the 80s gaming scene. And I mean, I guess it makes sense because, again, it was the 80s. Like, now when anyone breaks a record, they have cameras and they have, several people confirming it. I don't know if you remember, I think iCarly did an episode about breaking a world record for like the longest live stream, and they went into a lot of details of what goes into breaking those kind of records. Like, it's not easy, and if you're off by just a little bit, they don't let it slide like at all.
Right. Yeah, so, and I want to bring up a commenter on our update, Ignance Kolish. He said, "Oh no, he didn't lie about a world record. He lied about a lot of world records. There's been irrefutable proof that he's been a liar for ages now. For example, the game Wabbit. He claimed a score of 1698. However, you can only game 5 points at a time, so you can only have a score ending in 0-5. Also, oh yeah, there's the whole game over at 1300 points issue. So it's saying he not only lied about another game in a ridiculous way, saying that he got a score that would be impossible to get just by how the game tally scored, but also there's a kill screen in the game at 1300 points, and he said he got 398 more points than that kill screen. So not only is he lying, he's like a bad liar.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that he would continue, like, I don't know if it was a fame thing or something, but that he would continue to lie as technology got better and better at proving that. Like,
yeah, it's really weird.
Now, is he like a live streamer or something too? And that's where...
No, he's just dude.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's... But he does play, like, games... Like, I think one of the videos I watched mentioned something about how he does play, in front of, like, cameras regularly or something. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I misunderstood. I think I misunderstood. I'm not full versed in the details of this case.
All I know is that he never was able to prove that his time was possible on camera because, as we know now, it's an impossible time. And it's led to all of his records being taken off of Twin Galaxy and out of Guinness, and, well, presumably out of Guinness, considering, the Twin Galaxy thing is really why he's a Guinness World Record holder, and also his record for longest held video game record is also gone because of this. So, interesting story all around, and don't cheat, people at home.
Yeah, and I mean, if you do cheat, like, I mean, I feel like had this been a case where he had fessed up to it, like, because when he originally lied about the score, he, like, you can see the picture, he's just, some dumb kid trying, probably trying to show off and really excited. If he had just admitted from the get-go, like, when he got found out, yes, I lied about this because I was being a dumb kid, then it probably wouldn't have blown up so badly. But I guess he was a huge idol and a huge part of the gaming community because he had the longest held record. And it's unfortunate. It's really not worth it. Video games, I think we forget a lot of times. Can they be competitive? Yes, but ultimately they should be about having fun. Doesn't matter if you're the best.
Yeah, definitely, this is just a strange story all around. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't know enough. Unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of official resources because literally all the articles that are about him are about him being removed from the Book of World Records and from Twin Galaxies, as well as that he treated in Dragster specifically, which because that was his most famous score, that's what's getting the most attention. So it's unfortunate, and it's unfortunate just in general, so that's unfortunate.
That's the legacy of Todd Rogers, from video game record holder to just some guy who lied for a long time about a video game.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, so let's move on to something that might be a bit more exciting, some better news, so to speak. The duo behind the television show Game of Thrones are set to set a new series of Star Wars movies.
Right. So I know that you're probably excited about this. I'm not as excited just because I know that I don't know if you guys remember this at the beginning of Game of Thrones. A lot of people had, like, I think they've gotten a lot better about it as they've written the story, but a lot of people had issues with Daenerys' storyline. because there was a lot of unnecessary violence against women put into it. I haven't read the book myself, but so I mean, I know that again, writers tend to get better as they go. I do hope that they continue, like they take what they learned from Game of Thrones and apply it really well, because I do like where they're female. Like, I know a lot of it obviously is R. Martin's, writing, but like the last season they had to fill in because they didn't have the books to go off, right? So I'm hoping that like as they have these really awesome characters, that they continue with being more creative and take what they learned from working with R. Martin's script and apply it in a really good way to Star Wars and bring us something new and refreshing.
Right. So I'm probably surprise you. I'm not that excited about this. I love Game of Thrones, but honestly, and if we're being straight, still a very good show. But all the stuff that they've had to do themselves, it went from being like a really intriguing trope, like bending show, to just being like a regular TV show, and they kind of took over. It's cool, it's fun. Well, yeah, it's a good show, but all like the things, the storytelling arcs that were interesting, things that went against convention that George R. R. Martin did in his books, were just like kind of, either put to the wayside or way exaggerated. It just doesn't feel like. I'll put it this way: George R. R. Martin makes you care about all the characters. And all the characters are, fighting each other. There's people on different sides of the war, and you understand all of their motivations and whatnot. But since his book series didn't go to where we are in the show, they kind of like merged to like, oh, who are the popular characters? They're all on the same side now. It's like, no, this is supposed to be like,
you're supposed to be frustrated that they're conflicting.
Yeah, you're supposed to be like, oh man, I see where they're coming from. This sucks that someone's going to have to die in this conflict because I like these characters. And now it's like, and I don't know, maybe the books will be like that. I doubt it.
So you think they played it safe?
Yes, I do. The way I described not last season but the season 4 was like a season of wish fulfillment. Where, like, literally everything where it's like, I really hope this happens. Whereas the rest of the seasons, it was like, man, I hope this character gets revenge for their family member being killed. Oh, wow, they were just massacred in a really underhanded way. Shit, that sucks. Yeah. But I guess is, like, more realistic. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's so hard because, as we talked about, I wasn't the biggest fan of the new Star Wars movie. I think the new Han Solo movie hopefully could be good, although, like, the few lines that the guy who's playing Solo said were pretty terrible in the trailer. So I'm like, oh, crap. Is this going to also be bad?
Yeah, the Super Bowl. I mean, to be fair, for this upcoming one, there's been so much that has told me that it's going to be bad. The director dropped out. One of the directors dropped out 6 months in. They had to get an acting coach for their actor.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Is bad, especially, like, it's different maybe if they had gotten him one at the beginning to sort of help him, but this was like they had already been filming for more than 6 months because this was after the director
Ron Howard came on. Yeah, it's like Ron Howard coming on. He's a good director, but can he salvage something that's not good is the real question. And how did they cast this guy if they have to get him an acting coach?
Yeah, I think they were thinking more about looks and less about...
But he doesn't even look like Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
He looks like someone showed up to your Halloween party dressed like casually as Han Solo. Like, you didn't put on a lot of effort to the costume.
Like, they went to the Halloween store and was like, I need a costume. What do I be? And
right,
her girlfriend
exactly.
was like, I want to be Leia.
Yeah,
He's like,
they're
okay, there we go.
I'll be Han Solo. Man, yeah, I don't know. So I hope I hope Solo will be good, and I hope the next Star Wars will be good, and I hope the Benioff and Weiss Star Wars will be good. But I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here being like, oh, this is amazing. I can't believe they got the writers from the Game of Thrones show to do this. It's just like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm especially where I'm worried, like based off what you're saying, that without R. Martin's guidance, they're gonna probably play it safe because it seems like based off what you're saying, they're getting a lot of credit for what R. Martin did, not what they did.
Right, like a lot of the female empowerment stuff that they've done was all stuff that George R. R. Martin kind of laid the groundwork for,
right?
You know, and then but then they kind of really betrayed Sansa's character, I feel like, in the show, where she's off doing these really like interesting things in the book and kind of studying under one of the bigger players of the Game of Thrones, and then they're like, we don't want to introduce this other new character because we forgot to introduce her a few seasons ago, and now she's really important, so now you get to get raped by Ramsay instead of this character. And I was like, ooh, what about all that character development we just did with all the seasons for Sansa? This seems really shitty. Yeah, you'll notice if you look at all the Game of Thrones ratings by episode, they're all like 8, and then that episode is just like a 4. It's like a crater because everyone was like, what the fuck was that? And as a book reader, knowing what character she was taking over for, I like knew this is gonna happen, and I was like, Jesus Christ, like this is gonna be a huge backlash, as it should have been, because it was a really dumb decision.
Well, what's odd about that is you think they would have read all of the books before, like, they even started with them. At least I would have. If I was told, all right, here you're building something off the source material, I would do my damnedest to make sure I find out everything I needed to know, like, that was important. Like, if someone was important later on and not important right away, I would want to read the whole series.
Yeah, at least, like, cast somebody to be in a few episodes in the first season and then bring them back. Or just recast them, just have that character in the show. It's not like they don't recast other people in the show. And then they had a like scene in the book where Jaime and Cersei have sex, and it's just like it's consensual. But then like in the show, it was really didn't seem like it. So I don't know.
I mean, there was a lot in those first few episodes that came off very rapey.
Yeah. Well, that was like the 4th season though, or the 5th season. It was like.
But that was even like in the first season, like.
Yeah. Well, a lot of Daenerys stuff is like.
Well, not just that. Even like the Cersei scene was just like, this just feels really awkward because we just found out they're siblings and.
Yeah. Well, that not necessarily rapey, but something of a whole different. Whole
there was
different
a
thing there.
Kind of rapey tone to it, like just the way it went down.
But like even with the Daenerys stuff, it's like. She went from being like this completely helpless girl to like being the motherfucking mother of dragons, like badass bitch, like gonna take over the Iron Throne, and that was a really great story arc. And they haven't messed up anything with Daenerys, as far as I'm concerned.
I know a lot of people brought up that like her, I guess the original sex scene with her and Drogo in the beginning was not originally a rape scene. It was like an actual consensual scene. That's what I heard a lot of people complain about.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I didn't realize we'd be talking about the sex scenes in Game of Thrones today, but
I didn't either. We went there.
Yeah, it was more like she's really uncomfortable because she's like, pretty young in the books and not experienced at all. And then by the end of their relationship, she's like the one taking charge and like,
oh yeah,
has
definitely.
Really fallen in love with Khal Drogo.
Yeah.
And then then he dies, and it's very sad. But maybe, hey, there's a prophecy. He might come back. Who knows? Holding out hope.
I wish. He was like one of the best characters.
Yeah.
I love that actor.
And Jason Momoa has really built a career off of being Khal Drogo.
Legitimately.
It's pretty great. But yeah, so I'm optimistic, but I'm hopeful, but I'm not overly optimistic. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm also a little worried. Is every movie going to be a Star Wars movie in like 5 years? Just like every movie, no matter what, is just going to be set in the Star Wars universe.
I mean, Disney's building an entire park. They're going to milk it as much as they can.
Yeah. I'm just worried. It's like...
Hopefully they just don't ruin...
out.
Yeah, I know. I just hope they don't ruin the franchise before the park gets...
Yeah, you don't want people to be like, ugh, more Star Wars.
You're like, I was really excited about this, but no, I'm not gonna be.
Yeah. I guess anything else to add to this?
Not to this, but
anything else you want to add in general?
Yes, actually. Hold on, I'll link you the article because I just remembered this right now.
Okay.
So let me start at the beginning to give you some context.
Okay.
Back when Overwatch first was coming out and the professional aspect of it was starting to form, there was a girl who was this amazing Zarya player. Mm-hmm. She was so good that people were accusing her of cheating. And it was gotten so bad, like they were like basically bullying this girl to the point where these two professional players came forward and said, if you can beat us, we will drop out of Overwatch professionally forever.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah. So she did it, and they had to quit.
And they did quit?
She did it on live stream. Oh, yeah, they quit. I'm pretty sure.
Jesus Christ.
So anyway, all the teams and rosters came out for the Overwatch League, and everyone was shocked. Because out of, I think it's like almost 150 players, not a single girl was on any of the teams.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
150? There's not like one girl in the top 150?
No. And these are like teams ridiculous. Like where they go out and they recruit. Like, and everyone was like, what the hell? Like, especially this girl who was famous for her skills.
Right.
Like, it wasn't like she was just, like, some random person. This is someone everyone knows had credibility, that she, like, forced people to quit the league because they challenged her. And she had not made it onto a team. Well, they got her on a team. She's on a team. Yeah, so people really listened to the criticism, and it's like, it just seemed like such an obvious thing where she had a fan following already. Like, that alone can do so much for a team, even if they're not the most skilled player. If they have a fan following, that can get you, like, what do you call it?
Sponsors?
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, and just things like that. And she will be joining the Shanghai Dragons, which will be interesting because the Shanghai Dragons have not been doing well this season.
Are the this is gonna sound so dumb. Are the Shanghai Dragons in the same league as the Overwatch League that just started?
Yes, they are yes, they are one of the teams.
Alright, cool.
So, she's 18 years old, and she will be joining with another player named Fearless and another player named Ado. Okay. And she goes by, I think it's, she's Kim Giguri Seon, and people call her Giguri, I think that's how it's pronounced.
Cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of people, Fearless and Ado are the people already on the team that people are excited to see her play with. And a lot of people thought she was going to sign on with Seoul Dynasty, which is basically Korea's team in the team that's doing the best because she is from Korea.
Right.
But she wound up signing with a foreign team.
Cool.
After the Seoul Dynasty had made excuses as to why they didn't hire them. And I'm really excited for her, and I think this is really awesome, especially where we know she's such a capable player.
Right.
Like, this is just like a no-brainer that she should be on a team. So
yeah, no doubt. Now let's work on getting some more women in the sport, because I'm sure there are some out there.
Oh, I'm sure. They just...
Boston Uprising, get on it. Let's go. We're not that good.
Weird.
Gotta step it up.
I mean, after that Pats loss, they could use it.
We need anything we can in Boston right now.
Especially for because I think I've told you this before. It's come up several times. The guy who owns the Patriots owns the Boston Uprising team, so I'm sure he wants it more than anyone. Yes. Give him a win.
All right. So that's very exciting news. We'll obviously be rooting for her, and I'll be paying a little bit more attention, at least to her stuff, because that is a cool story. And I guess my one thing to bring up is I watched the new Cloverfield movie on Netflix.
How was it?
Not as bad as people are saying it is. It's fine. It's entertaining. If you have like nothing going on some night and you want like a kind of fun, pretty decently scary space movie, I would suggest it. So yeah, that's all I got.
I think the only other thing I wanted to bring up was this really cool, I'm gonna play it on my channel, but there's this really cool Kickstarter for this game called oh god, I'm gonna butcher it so bad, but I played this game at PAX East. It's really cool, and they gave me an alpha, and I'm gonna play it on my channel.
Okay.
The game is called Avaria? Hold on, I'm gonna put it in chat so you could help me with this.
Okay. We're waiting on the chat.
I believe.
Avaria?
Yeah, Avaria. I think that's what it is. Avaria. Cool. But it's a really cool crap. It's a cool game, and it's
very cool.
It's it's like fast paced.
Turn based.
Yes, turn based. Okay. So it's like a fast-paced, turn-based game, and it's really cool and really pretty, and the devs are the nicest people in the world. Like, I just want people to play the game, and they're so excited. And, and hopefully they'll be at PAX East. I think they're still waiting to hear back.
Cool.
But...
Well, yeah, if they're there, we'll definitely have to stop by.
Yeah, so I'm going to play that alpha on my channel. They have a Kickstarter going. I definitely suggest checking it out. It's a really cool game. It's an indie game, and it's totally worth checking out. So go check it out, and yeah.
Support your local video game makers.
Yes.
I don't know if that's necessarily like how they phrase it, but support the small creators.
Support your indie devs.
Yes. Oh, man. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I'm Brian.
I'm Starrykosmik.
And this has been some real news. It's not really how we sign off this show, but maybe it can be.
Well, is it... Oh, I guess it would be real news because if we wouldn't want it... Yeah, okay, it is real news.
Yeah, this is... Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.